pimping accessories.
Hey guys, I'm joined now by Bitwit Kyle at LTX 2019.
Thanks for having me.
So our grand overlord Linus flew us both out here.
He did.
He
yes.
actually contractually obligated that we say his name in every video. Did you have the same contract?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I signed it in blood.
Yes,
mandatory.
They actually didn't allow any other form of signature. So Kyle's here. We're going to talk about his strength, which is going to be pimping PCs, and I guess we're going to be briefly joined by some other people.
Oh wow! Look at this! What a treat!
Before that, this video is brought to you by the Be Quiet Dark Rock Slim, keeping a high performance focus but reducing the footprints to accommodate full memory slot compatibility. The Dark Rock Slim comes with one of Be Quiet's Silent Winds 3 120mm fans, built for low noise operation. The Dark Rock Slim advertises cooling capability up to 180 watt TDP, but mixes in a matte blackout color design to combine performance and looks. Learn more at the link in the description below.
What a treat! We got some video bombers.
Make some room.
I thought we were going to use the newsroom.
Oh, you wanted to use my newsroom that I found?
So I wanted to use yours.
How's it going, Dmitry?
Hey.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
So this is Dmitry from Hardware Canucks. He's now in the video.
Is this part of? Are you punking me right now?
No, it wasn't planned.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to get out of it.
It just seems so natural.
It was
like it was staged or
It was
something.
a great introduction. Thanks, Kyle.
Wow.
Steve.
Can't even remember my name.
Yeah. I'm a 10-hour difference, so I have an excuse.
Yeah,
Good one.
I don't blame you.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little comfortable when a bunch of dudes just swarmed me. I was like, I know how this ends.
You must have felt
I'm
really
ready.
comfortable downstairs.
Do I get on my knees or how does this work?
It's getting non-advertiser friendly.
Sorry.
Is there any sexual content
keep
in this
you
video?
monetized.
Light sexual content.
Yeah.
No ads.
Oh, you
Okay.
make 'em in.
So, yeah, that was Dmitry from Hardware Canucks and Roman, a.k.a. Der8auer. And now back to the topic, pimping PCs. Back to the topic of being advertiser-friendly.
Yes,
using
of
words
course.
like that.
Very proper.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're a bit of a master, I would say, on...
I don't know. Is that what people think?
I
'Cause
think so.
I don't consider myself a master. I mean, maybe that's just what happens when you do something long enough. Like you just naturally become a master. You're knighted with master
That's right.
properties. But I have built a lot of PCs as you have. But I feel like I've definitely emphasized
you actually try though.
Well, try on the cosmetic side, right? I feel like with our powers combined, you and I could make the perfect system.
That's probably true.
Combining form and function in all realms.
Future collaboration.
Yes, indeed. Ideas, #ideas. But yeah, let's continue talking about how I'm a master.
Okay, yeah,
interrupt.
I just think you're a master at baiting photos of PCs from people. Maybe I should
Calling me a
rephrase that.
masturbator.
So you get photos from people on Twitter for your weekly live stream.
Right, that I do with Paul.
Pimp
Yeah.
My PC, right? And then you had
Right.
Pimp My Rig as your
Yes.
show.
Yes.
So what are some, hit me with the easy list. You know, Kyle, my home computer, it's a mess.
Sure.
I don't have much money. I'm poor.
Okay.
I was hoping you would give me some money, but if that's not possible, maybe you could give me some simple tips on, cheap ways to upgrade the PC.
See, that's the way to approach it. If you are going to ask like an influencer or a reviewer or any YouTuber creator something, ask for just the tip, not for any,
ideally in the
money
form
or
of
something.
money, but if they won't do that, then Kyle.
Exactly. So here's what I would tell someone who's asking that question. Basically, if you're trying to save some money, fortunately there's a lot of competitive options right now when it comes to sprucing up the look of your build. I remember when like custom sleeve cables were first becoming a thing, you either had the option to pay an arm and a leg for someone to do it for you, or you could do it yourself, which I did once. It was the first and last time I'll ever do it because it is so tedious. I have so much respect for the guys who do it professionally.
Did you do the whole kit, or did you do like one cable and you said, you know what?
I did the whole kit. I did the entire system for the first hotline, and I was really happy with the results, but it was just so tedious. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I feel like there was a need that created a need in that niche part of the market for custom sleeve cables. So now there's actually a lot of good options that are actually coming from like Chinese brands.
Yeah.
Obviously, super cheap. Guys, they're not like dudes. It's like I'm Asia Horse. Companies like Asia Horse or Easy DIY. There's also PC Cooler, I think, makes some good ones.
Yeah,
but they're all very competitively priced, probably in the range of like $35 to $40 for an entire kit.
Yeah.
And that usually covers the main bits of your system: your motherboard, your 24-pin, your 8-pin EPS, your GPU. Usually they include like 2 8-pins and 2 6-pin PCIe. So it pretty much covers you for like the vast majority of systems, unless you're trying to go higher wattage and you need an additional.
The only things to look out for on cables, I guess. So the cool thing with extensions, cable extensions, is that you can use them on anything.
Exactly.
Because there's no pin out you need to worry about matching.
Yep.
If it's a straight just cable set that's a replacement, like CableMod does, make sure you buy the right one.
Yes.
And then cable gauge, wire gauge for the most part, you shouldn't really have to think about. But if it's like, if there's cheap brands and then there's like dirt cheap brands.
Yes.
And if it's dirt cheap, there's a reason.
Exactly. No, that's a huge point to bring up, because sometimes I feel like custom cables, when they're really dirt cheap, can make your system look worse.
That too.
Because they come the way that they're shipped. They have to bend them and stuff and pack in shipping. And if they're super cheap, they'll retain that shape to some degree, no matter how much you try to train them with whatever cable cones that you're using. It just won't look right. It'll look kind of like crooked, like it's got a limp or something. So really finding that sweet spot between how they actually perform. It's weird to say that cables are performing, but they are in a sense. And also whatever fits your budget. So definitely look out for those brands.
What about other than cables?
So cables is, apart from that, another easy one is fans, I feel like. Because, there's a huge emphasis on cases nowadays on like fan support, cooling support, which you've helped pioneer that mentality for sure. Which is awesome.
Brute force it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I feel like a lot of the time, like custom fans or aftermarket fans can sort of personalize the look of your system to make it look a bit more, less stock, right? And there's also things like RGB on fans nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of those companies that I just rattled off actually also sell fans that are RGB, and I've actually tested the PC Cooler ones.
Okay.
And I got the same temperatures on our Asus ROG Ryogen cooler, the 360, as I did with the included Noctua fans.
Okay, yeah.
Which kind of blew my mind. And I was like running the test back and forth, and I was like, oh, okay, they're really good. They're very quiet, and the RGB on them is tasteful. I feel like the market trend has started to shift to be less like gamery / aggressive and more minimalistic, which I personally like.
I definitely agree with that. Do you normally find those fans on AliExpress, or the same with the cables? Where do you typically pick those up?
Mostly Amazon. Yeah, I've been able to find pretty much the vast majority of those kind of like pimping accessories pretty readily on Amazon.
New YouTube channel, pimping and pimping accessories.
Someone's going to take me saying pimping accessories out of context, and it's going to completely
that would be terrible. No one would do
destroy my
that.
Reputation even more than it already. No one would do that, except maybe one of your editors. I don't know.
So other than cables, we've got fans.
Cables, fans.
Let me mention water cooling. So water cooling is probably, I feel like that's like the end game boss mode.
Yes,
of making it look cool.
Yeah, you're in it. That's dedication for your wallet and for your time.
Yeah,
definitely.
So is there any, I'm not willing to do that, Kyle. I don't have the patience. I'm worried it's going to explode all over my computer like yours did.
Yes.
So
fair enough.
What can I do to get kind of close to that look without actually doing open loop?
Well, there are some more reliable options that can sort of give you that premium feel, I think, and they're pretty self-explanatory. Like there's a wide variety of liquid AIOs on the market, closed loop systems from guys like Corsair and Silverstone, NZXT, all those guys. So those are much more reliable in my opinion because they're coming from a manufacturer. They also have certain warranties on them and things like that. And I feel like you can also get away with customizing the look of them, specifically with RGB, of course. Color coordination is I think pretty huge nowadays with all the lighting.
Definitely.
I think when you have a vision, when you have an idea of like what kind of color scheme you want to go with, and you select parts with that in mind, you end up with a much more cohesive looking build that looks intentional.
They're starting
every
to
part looks purposeful.
Yeah, and they're starting to do color cable or sleeving on the tubes now too. Some of them.
Yes.
So like Corsair's got some of the white models with white tubing.
Yep, exactly.
And then CableMod, I don't know if they still sell them or if they sold well or not, but they had those separate sleeves as well.
Right. Oh, actually, another tip is that you can further customize the look. Let's say you get an AIO maybe you want to swap out the stock fans,
Yeah.
just to make it a bit more personalized, or maybe the fans that you want to put in there are going to match the other components in your build more than the stock ones will. And a little tip that I have is that if you have, if you buy an AIO that actually ships with really good fans, like the H100i RGB Platinum has those, the NL120 Pros on it, those are great fans. Put those elsewhere in the build, maybe that won't be so visible. Exactly. So you're still benefiting from the hardware you're buying, spending money on, but you're still getting the look that you want in the end.
Have you ever done any custom painting on your systems? Oh, you did. You did that motherboard, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have. It's I'm such a noob, honestly, when it comes to any kind of modifications.
Yeah.
I kind of just like make it up as I go type of thing, see what other people are doing.
I think that's fine though, because probably a lot of people are in that situation. I mean, you have to start there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. And I'm not an expert spray painter or whatever, but after doing it a couple times, you start to get the hang of, all right, well, how many coats does this type of part need versus this material? And you just sort of like get a feel for it,
So how did you end up feeling about the motherboard heat sinks now that because you did that for Hotline 2? Was that Hotline 2?
So spray painting the heat sinks?
Yeah, I think you painted them, and
I've done that on a number of builds actually. Yeah. Are you talking about for the motherboards like VRM heat sinks?
Yeah. So now that you've gone through that process a few times, you look back, was it worth doing? Are you happy with the outcome? Did it ever like peel or anything bad ever happen with it?
No, honestly, actually everything that I've done paint-wise has for the most part held up. And I mean, it's a PC. Once it's all configured and up and running, you don't really touch it all that much unless you're guys like us who are fiddling with stuff all the time, fiddling with our hardware. But for the most part, paint is going to stay. As long as you do it proper by whatever instructions are on the can. I mean, it's like kind of like read the effing manual type of thing. It really is pretty straightforward. So I haven't really had any issues with paint. The one thing I'll say is the painting is almost not even as important as the masking job that you do. You have to mask off so properly to make it look really clean. Because once that tape comes off, it's not going to be the same if you missed a spot and try to go over it a second time once the initial coating is dry. So trying to mask it once and do it right the first time is going to give you way better results.
Measure once, cut twice.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's pretty much it.
Measure twice, cut once.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. So any final tips? Like, let's say I'm feeling pretty good, Kyle. I got a job now. I do this thing on YouTube, and
that's not a real job.
It's definitely not. So I have a couple $100. I feel like I can really invest in making this computer look good. Where do you distribute the money?
Okay, that's pretty fair. Like I think, like I said, well, if you have a couple $100,
like let's say you have like $200 to just make it look better.
You have a lot of options there. Like honestly, what I usually recommend people, because most people are on some sort of fixed budget, right? That's generally on the tighter side. So I feel like I've been able to like pimp out a PC, even like a mid or high end PC with like $100.
Yeah.
So like I said, like a cable kit will run you maybe $30, $35. And then if you want to add in like an RGB strip or whatever to give some more even illumination over the components, that's maybe another $20, $30. And then you can save the rest for things like fans or maybe upgrading a part that's more on the aesthetic side in your system. Maybe like getting new, well, I guess you would need more money for RAM, but RAM is, potentially one upgrade that you can make. I think at the end of the day, though, if you have $200 to spend, then you get more options. It's like the same sort of things. It's really basic, like cables, fans, LED strips, but you can get better quality versions of those with, as you scale your budget. So you can maybe go to guys like Mainframe Customs or whatever and get some custom sleeved cables that or professionally made and super custom that you can't find as a pre-configured
anywhere
kit. That's really going to set your rig apart. Likewise, you can do painting. Like I think painting is such a great modification because it's relatively affordable and it can really change the look of your system overall. So.
Yeah, print out the template or the guide you want to use if you're not that good at painting, like I'm not, and then stick it on the case and spray paint it. You're like, looks great.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the stencil's not gonna lie. So
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So that's Bitwit's 2 cents. Wrong guy. That's Kyle's tips on.
Is this a crossover episode
on water cooling? I guess it technically is.
Yeah,
the beginning.
Right.
So if you want to check him out, Bitwit is the channel. If you don't know Kyle already, and you're also on Floatplane, I guess.
Yes,
I'll mention that for Linus's sake.
Yeah.
So check out Bitwit on Floatplane. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, man.
We'll see you all next time.